Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, folks, this pattern of nice weather, nice fallish type of weather, has definitely started to turn the tide into a more favorable bite, and that's what we've been seeing this past week and past weekend. A lot of guys coming away with some nicer quality walleyes, as well as some perch and crappie being caught out there. So hopefully we've turned the corner and things will continue to get better as the water temperatures continue to fall. Speaking of water temperatures, a lot of water temperatures we're getting here in the lower to middle 60s, so that's really getting to that time, starting to be that prime time for the perch bite to really start picking up, as well as the walleyes start putting on their feed bag as we head into winter. But as far as the walleye bite is concerned, guys that were doing fairly well were hitting the lakes like Enemy Swim, Waubay, Bitter, Big Stone, Reed, as well as Reeds. And then also down the southeastern part of the state, the lakes included Dry Lake by Willow Lake. A lot of people there, though. That's really the drawback at that location. Other lakes included Albert, Ponset, Thompson, 81 Ponds, East Oakwood, Diamond, Island, Madison, as well as the Trophy Lake, Twin. Now, what have guys been doing to catch those walleyes? It seems like more and more guys are using swim baits right now, and that type of fall pattern, so to speak, has been doing pretty well, especially along the weed edges. And then also guys are still pulling spinners with crawlers and working really well. And then the other thing is the guys are casting jigging wraps and ripping wraps out there and having a lot of luck with some really nice walleyes across the area this past week. So keep those two presentations in mind. And then as far as the panfish bite is concerned, the perch being caught at Big Stone, doing really well, between 8 to 10 inch perch being caught up there. Enemy Swim, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Ponset. A few at Thompson, as well as Sinai, Island, Twin, and then also the Iowa Great Lakes. And then the bluegills, Enemy Swim, Buffalo, Brant, Madison, as well as, again, the Iowa Great Lakes. And then the crappie bite, not as many lakes are producing crappie right now, but they include Thompson, Pickerel, Sinai, as well as Ponset. Now, what have guys been doing to catch those panfish? A lot of guys now are using those wrapless slab wraps, and you might have saw that over on TV this past weekend, but really having a great success with that. Otherwise, you're using the shiny hiney, the pilkies, as well as the haleys or other small tungsten jigs underneath a bobber, or jigging, or even casting with them. But as far as live bait is concerned, small minnows have been working well, then also waxworms and maggots, and then also the artificial gulp maggot or waxworm has also done the trick as well. In this week's version of Todd's Tackle Tips, folks, we're going to go perch fishing. And what do I mean by that? As the water temperatures drop and fall weather starts moving in, the perch are going to start schooling up, and people are going to hit the lakes looking out for those schools of perch. And so how can you go out and really find them? Well, one of the first things is watch your depth finders. Watch for those schools of fish. Watch for the bait fish. That will also help. Also, a lot of guys pull spinners or troll for them, and then when they come across a perch, stop, anchor, and then do their trick then. Once you find them, there's multiple ways that you can catch the fish, catch the perch. One of them is with a slip bobber. You can use a slip bobber or any type of jig underneath that, and make sure it's weighted properly to make sure that that bobber can go down easily. That's one of the best ways for kids. I think that's where they find the most enjoyment. The other way is jigging for them. You can use any type of jig and jig right alongside the boat. You can also cast for them. But a lot of times people will use a rod right off the boat side and then really not use a bobber or anything else and just watch the rod tip. And when you're talking about perch, they're going to have a really light bite to them. So again, the key is making sure you have a rod that has a light sensitive tip. And that's what I'm showing you here. These are a couple of rods that we have here at the store. And this rod tip, you can see how sensitive that thing is. It's just nice and flexible that you can have that alongside the boat, and you can just watch that rod tip do its action and the whole thing, so you know right away when you have a fish on. So the whole key on any type of fishing is making sure your rod matches up to the presentation. You don't need to have a sensitive rod for slip bobber fishing, but for jigging and for using it alongside the boat as a dead stick, you need to have a sensitive rod tip. So again, keep that in mind, making sure that your rods match up to your fishing presentation, and also just keep in mind the different ways that you can go about catching perch this fall. Now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd at DakotaAngler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And if I use your photo, your name will be entered into a monthly drawing for a $25 gift certificate. Well, folks, before we end this week's report, I want to remind you that we still have an ongoing sale of all rods, and remaining reels are on sale for 20% off. So stop on by here at the store and take a look at the great selection that we have on hand. And we still have some of the rods that we talked about during Todd's Tackle Tips that have that great finesse tip that you're looking for perch bites this fall. So don't miss out on that great sale. Stop by now. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next time, and again, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it.